Oh my gosh, I wasn't even playing the music. The quality's not here. We gotta enjoy this. Alright, we'll play it again on the outro. I really enjoyed that instrumental. Welcome to KO Bets. My name is Bill. If you wouldn't mind, before we get started, if you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel, like the video. I think it helps with the algorithm. That's what all other YouTube creators say. Today, I'm just still dealing with some technical difficulties. Didn't get to do the NFL show on Sunday. We gotta do UFC though, so I've got this setup here. It's not the best, but you know, we're live, we're here, and I'm super excited to be here, talk about the fights. We've got UFC Fight Night, Kattar against Allen. Usually I give an NFT update here too. We hit our number, 50 subscribers, so I owe somebody an NFT, and we're gonna do that on Sunday and figure out the best way to distribute it, because, well, we'll get into it on Sunday. Next giveaway is going to be at 100 subscribers, so that's when I'm going to do it. I'm going to give it away. We'll probably have to do it to whoever's in the, watching the show live, or maybe we'll do a comment. We'll do a comment thing, just because I can't actually pull up a list of everyone who's subscribed to the channel. So that's kind of interesting. If you've never explored YouTube Studio, I'm happy to show you that sometime. But we've got fights to go over for this week. Had a great week last week betting on 280. Islam ended up winning. Makhachev. Can we go back to that event? Here we go. Let's go over that really quickly. TJ Dillashaw. That was kind of a bummer. I mean, to come into the fight injured already, dislocated shoulder, that's unfortunate. I wish I would have known that as a gambler. Definitely took TJ Dillashaw on the underdog money. Peter Yan against O'Malley. I am so thankful that I avoided betting on Peter Yan. Sean was live for a decision win. I mean, you can say what you want about the result, but just real happy I didn't bet this one, because I think, and I'm sorry if you got screwed over, because that was not what we thought. Beneil Dariush, huge performance. Looked incredible. Fiora was a good pick. Bilal Muhammad, underdog pick. That was great. Baralo anchored him to a lot of parlays. That was awesome. Krylov looked good. Yeah, I mean, we had a really, really good card. Makayev with the last-minute submission. That was big for someone who picked inside the distance. So really good card. But now let's get into Kattar against Allen. The first fight we've got is Christian Rodriguez taking on Josh Wims. Christian Rodriguez is 7-1 professionally. I didn't write down either of these guys' records heading into this fight. I think this is Rodriguez's debut in the UFC. Oh no, he fought Jonathan Pierce. That's right. Lost the three-round decision there. Just kind of got taken down a lot. But he has good cardio. Was able to get back up pretty efficiently against Pierce. Good stand-up. Gotta like his volume and his pressure. He's taking on Josh Weems, we gotta give him, I think, a grappling advantage, in my opinion. Definitely finishing more fights with submission than other things. Appears to have decent output as well. This is a short notice fight for Josh Weems, which isn't good. He does have a couple of KO losses on his resume. I think this is going to be a tough fight for Josh Weems. Rodriguez got wrestled hard against Pierce. I think if he could deal with Pierce, get back to his feet, still show good cardio, he'll be okay with Weems. Probably avoid a bunch of takedowns and just hurt him on the feet. Let's check out the odds on this. We're going to go with Rodriguez. Minus 390. Heavy favorite. I'm guessing the odds makers don't like this one to go the distance. Fight to go distance, no. Yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. We could pull up SureDog. Look at the win buys. Get that out of the way. Let's do that. Really handy. I think just database for breaking down fights if you're into that. So yeah, Christian Rodriguez, 3 KO victories. His losses via a decision. If we're looking at Weems, 8 submission wins. So yeah, a majority of his wins are inside the distance as well. Does have the 2 KO losses. So maybe we are looking at something inside the distance. I would say I like the Rodriguez KO in that case, which so do the odds makers. So yeah, I feel comfortable with Christian Rodriguez. I'll probably consider putting the what would I do? Maybe I would do the KO decision as minus 300. I don't know if I would do him in a round robin. I'm definitely not betting minus 390 on its own, unfortunately. But I like him to beat Josh Weems. If it's inside the distance, I like the KO at plus 120. But personally, I'd have to think about that. Maybe he does have, his 2 losses. Weems' 2 losses are knockout losses. So maybe I would consider putting the plus 120 into a round robin, but I don't know. I'll post my picks to Twitter. If you just give me a follow, I put it in the chat there. Cody Durden taking on Carlos Mata. Cody Durden, he's on a 1-fight win streak. Mata's making his UFC debut. Durden, 2-2-1 in the UFC. Solid power. Good wrestler. I think in this fight he's going to have to wrestle. And if he's not able to really control Carlos Mata, he might get a little bit hurt on the feet. If we're looking at the win buys, 0 submission wins for Mata. But he is a well-rounded fighter, and he does have grappling experience. Good power, good kicks. Probably dangerous early. But is coming in on short notice, I believe, against Cody Durden. And Cody Durden, I mean, he has been tough. No knockout losses. I don't know. I'm kind of talking myself out of Carlos Mata here. I think I'm going to go with Cody Durden here to just swarm Carlos Mata, make it a close, competitive fight. And I believe he's plus money. So, yeah, rolling with the plus money here against the guy making his UFC debut, who is super well-rounded, but Cody Durden does have great experience. So I'm going to roll with Cody Durden in this one. I think it'll be probably a decision. That's my opinion, but what is Vegas like for inside the distance? They don't like the fight to go the distance. Interesting. Durden does have submission losses. But Mata doesn't have any submission wins as of yet. If Durden's wrestling, that could be in play. Yeah, I'm going to just go with the underdog money and go with Cody Durden in this fight. Yeah, I like that. He does tend to slow down as the fight goes on. Maybe Mata, his victory and his best... Maybe I'm watching the fight and I like a live bet opportunity or something on Mata. If Durden looks gassed, maybe that's something I would do to hedge if I want to fade Durden at all. Mid-fight, abandon ship. But I'm going to go with Cody Durden in that fight. Next fight, we've got Chase Hooper taking on Steve Garcia. Chase Hooper, 1-fight win streak, looked really good in his last fight with the wrestling, ground and pound, improved striking. Obviously, he's got terrific jiu-jitsu. Very live submission threat always. He's taking on Steve Garcia, who's on a 1-fight losing streak. Solid wrestler, high volume striker. I think just Chase Hooper being 23 and looking extremely good in his last fight, you got to kind of roll with Chase. Roll with the hot fighter, right? The guy who's improving, appears to be a problem as far as the grappling and ground game. Minus 295 odds. Yeah, I'm guessing no one likes this to go the distance. No, minus 200. Yeah, I like the Chase Hooper. He got the KO last fight. That was ground and pound. He could do something like that again. I like the plus 450 odds. But I think the submission is honestly likely. He's just slick. He's just very slick. KO submission, minus 110. I don't know if I love... Yeah. I think I like that. Chase Hooper via KO or sub at minus 110. That's an improvement over minus 295, and I do think he's going to be able to put away Steve Garcia. You could do even under fight parlays, or if you like the same game parlays, you can probably find even better odds on this, depending on what outcome you like. Like we said, submission or KO. Oh, you can't do double method? Alright, never mind. But you could do Chase Hooper in under 2.5. Something like that, or... Yeah, Chase Hooper to have takedowns. That might be interesting. But... yeah, got to roll with Chase Hooper. He looked great his last fight. Sticking with him. Next fight, we've got Joseph Holmes taking on Jung Young Park. Joseph Holmes, he won his last fight. He's got good submission game, good kicks. He's got a good frame, 6'4", 80-inch reach. Huge physical advantage typically over his opponents. Something about watching him fight is frustrating. Hasn't looked really like... I wouldn't like him to go out and win a decision against Jung Young Park. Maybe he could deter him with kicks and just point strike that way. But I think stylistically, I just love Jung Young Park heading into this fight. He is the shorter fighter, but he does have a lot of output. He is a good grappler, so he might have top position. So he definitely needs to avoid submission attempts if he is going to grapple. But I just like him to win rounds in this fight. And I do think it could be a decision. Let's see what Vegas thinks. I'm going with Jung Young Park, minus 215 odds. It's a pick'em. Yeah, I mean, what does Holmes look like from his loss perspective? He lost to Pickett, which isn't the best. Let's see. Here we go. Beat Alan Amadovsky. And his other fight was a decision loss. So 2 decision losses. So I mean, I guess I like Jung Young Park to just steal rounds. Does have a couple of submission losses himself. Joseph Holmes is a submission threat, but I really like Jung Young Park's style heading into this fight. Like his output, like his aggressiveness, and then if it is a grappling exchange, I think he just ends up in top position, and it's about just being safe there. The next fight we've got is Andrei Arlovsky taking on Marcos Rogerio de Lima. Andrei Arlovsky, been around for a while, 4-fight win streak. Kind of a unusual style for the heavyweight division for sure. More of a point striking approach, which is good. It's been effective for him, but he hasn't been fighting against the best opponents as of late. But he looks great. He's out there. He's winning 4 fights in a row. Good output. Outstriking people, outpointing people. That's how he's winning fights. Marcos, on the other hand, he's more of a knockout artist. 14 KO victories out of his 19. Out of his 19 wins, 14 KO wins. So carries huge power. Traditionally, we haven't seen Andre do well against that type of opponent. I think Andre's going to be backpedaling a lot in the first round and probably get caught in this fight. I've picked against Andre, I think, once or twice on this winning streak that he's on. We could go look at it. I picked Vandera. That wasn't good. I don't think I picked Collier. But I might have picked Chase Sherman, which was stupid. So, yeah, he's winning decision victories. He's just outstriking his opponents. He could definitely, if this is a decision, you gotta like Andre's shot of winning. But against the opponent, the guy carrying a lot of power, I think he's probably going to get caught and hurt in this one. And we have seen Andrei Arlovsky lose via KO a lot in the UFC. Aspinall was the submission. Rosenstrike, big power. Ty had power and was dropping him. Francis, that's crazy power. Alistair, Miocic. So I think he could get hurt in this fight. It's all about kind of avoiding Marcos, I think, early, avoiding getting hit by him, staying on the outside, but I'm going to go with Marcos in this fight. See what the odds makers got. Marcos is the favorite, minus 245. I'm guessing they don't like it to go the distance. It's a pick-em. Yeah, I mean, I like the KO victory. I kind of like the idea of a KO early for him too. Like, let's see, an under plus 200 there. I think you could do a same game parlay, add the KO method of victory, and probably improve the odds even a little bit more. But yeah, give me Marcos in that fight. I like him to win via KO. Next fight we've got is Phil Hawes taking on Roman Dolidze. Phil Hawes is a great fighter. He's on a 1-fight win streak. Solid boxer, good wrestler, 4-1 in the UFC. Just super dynamic, looks impressive. The only thing is he does have, he can't get hurt. He's been hurt a couple of times. We've seen it. He can't get hurt. Roman Dolidze, he's on a 2-fight win streak. Great grappler, carries decent power, is tough. I think Phil Hawes has grappling to compete with Roman Dolidze. I don't think Dolidze's going to be... Let's see. Yeah, I don't think either fighter is going to really be shooting for takedowns. Maybe Roman is probably going to shoot for takedowns. I think Phil Hawes can handle that. 100% takedown defense. And he's a good wrestler in his own right. So, yeah, I like Phil Hawes on the feet. He just can't get hit by anything powerful, but I like him to just win rounds in this. Potentially hurt Roman Dolidze, but Dolidze does have only one loss. I think it was probably a decision. Yeah, it was a decision loss against Trevin Giles. I'm going to roll with Phil Hawes in this fight. I like Phil a lot. Definitely going to put him into round robins, possibly do a parlay involving him. I like Phil Hawes. So does Vegas a little bit, -175. Fight to go the distance. They don't like it to go the distance. Method of victory. They like the Hawes KO. I could see like Hawes scoring a KO, but I don't know if he's necessarily gonna just walk out there and knock out Roman in round 1. I don't really think he's gonna do that. I think it'll take a little time. If he's gonna hurt Roman, and it'll be later in the fight after he's fended off some takedowns. And Roman's maybe gassed from these failed takedown attempts, and then he just gets hurt by Phil Hawes' solid stand-up. But I don't know. I think it'll be. I wouldn't go all in on that knockout. Is my point. I don't think Phil Hawes would submit him. I don't know if Phil Hawes has any submission wins. He does have 2. Wow. None in the UFC thus far, but he does have 2. It's interesting. Rolling with Phil Hawes here. Like him a lot. Next fight we've got is Dustin Jacoby taking on Khalil Roundtree. Dustin Jacoby, he's on a tear. He is, what is this? I got written down. 6-0-1 in the UFC. One draw. Got a KO in his last fight. Does have a lot of KO victories. Khalil Roundtree, his opponent. This is a good fight. I'm excited for this fight. Really excited for it. Khalil Roundtree, excellent Muay Thai. Really violent. You just kind of get a weird range of performances from him. I think both fighters are capable of hurting each other in this fight. I think Dustin Jacoby's maybe got an output advantage, and I won't. Maybe he's more technical, a little bit more technical. Can I interact with this? Significant strikes. There you can see it. The output's a little bit more in Dustin Jacoby's favor. I like him to win rounds against Khalil Roundtree, but then he can't get hurt. Dustin does only have 1 KO loss. Did a lot of kickboxing. Khalil's more of that Muay Thai approach, stomps on knees. Just really, didn't he hurt someone real bad with leg kicks recently? Yeah, 2 fights ago, just brutal leg kick. So, I think the dude's capable of winning. This is a fight, I don't know, I would advise maybe staying away from it. I could see Khalil Roundtree winning via KO. I could see Dustin Jacoby winning via KO or decision. I don't think Khalil's going to be able to squeak out a decision victory, but I think he could for sure hurt Dustin in this fight. Let's check out what the odds makers like. We'll roll with Dustin Jacoby just because I see him winning rounds, but definitely not betting. I don't think I can bet on this fight. It's just, I mean, it's a combination of a little bit of respect for both guys, but just the wide range of outcomes when it comes to Khalil Roundtree. Maybe, Johnny Walker, okay, did terrific against Anders, Kudalaba. It's not great. Decision loss to Prachnio. Dustin Jacoby, let's look at him, because he has a lot of KO victories too. I mean, we know they've both gotten knocked out before. Maybe we try and play the knockout for either way in this fight, or something under in this fight, under 2.5. I'm not doing under 1.5. Odds makers do like this one to end inside the distance. I'm sure they like the knockout. Minus 190 here. I gotta look at that. I'd maybe sprinkle that in a round robin for tomorrow, but I gotta look into that a little bit. Let's move on to the next fight here. We've got Josh Fremd taking on Tresean Gore. Josh Fremd, 1-fight losing streak in the UFC, but he's a good fighter. Aggressive striker, powerful. He's a good fighter. He's taking on Tresean Gore. It says here he's 4-2. Has lost his 2 fights in the UFC. He's a Ultimate Fighter contestant. And we shouldn't beat around the bush. He's been bad. Real low output against Brian Battle. Just kind of got dominated in that, and then he got KO'd by Cody Brundage his last fight. So I'm not loving Tresean Gore. He was the favorite against Brian Battle. I don't remember if he was the favorite against Cody Brundage, but still a couple of not great performances in a row. Josh Fremd's coming in here, has lost, came back and won. This is the first losing skid in Tresean's career. Is very new to the sport. Josh is coming in with more experience, less in the UFC, but more experience in MMA. So I like Josh Fremd in this fight. Tresean Gore, I mean, so it's close. It's minus 155 in favor of Fremd. Tresean just hasn't been there in the last 2 fights. He hasn't. Give me Fremd. I like the KO. I think Gore could, if he's going to win, it's going to be a KO of his own. So I like this minus 125 for a KO for like a round robin. Let's do that. Maybe I'll do Fremd in the round robin too. I don't know. I'm going to definitely post that. I'm going to do it tomorrow morning. I'm going to work on this other computer a little bit. Next fight we've got is Waldo Cortez Acosta taking on Jared Vanderaa. Jared Vanderaa is the man. I like Jared a lot. He's had the great win on Dana White's Contender Series against Harry Hunsucker. But then he's just not been great since then. 1-4 in the UFC. Let's see. Sorry, 1-5 in the UFC on a 4-fight losing streak, and the opponents aren't like the best either. It's not like, I mean, I picked him to win against Andrei Arlovski. It was a split decision. He arguably won, but like, he's a good wrestler, and he needs to use that, and he doesn't. He doesn't use it at all. Alexei, I mean, he's got to use the wrestling. That's just my opinion. Against Waldo Cortez Acosta, big dude. Let's look at the metrics here. 6'4", 6'4". They're both big dudes. These are going to be big boys in the octagon. Solid KO power. Let's see. Dana White Contender Series, KO artist. You see the output here, but that's a little bit insane. That's just based on one round of Contender Series, I'm pretty sure. You can see he does have late round finishes prior to his stint in the UFC here. 7-0. One submission method of victory. It's got to be a finish, in my opinion. That's what you got to like. I'm sorry, Jared, I'm picking against you. I'm going with Waldo in this fight. I think Jared's method of victory, his easiest path to victory is just wrestling for 3 rounds. But it's not exciting, and that's not really where he hangs his hat on his toughness. He's tough. He puts on good fights. They're typically entertaining. But that's the clearest path to victory, in my opinion. It's just to shoot for takedowns. But I'm going to go with Waldo. I'm going to go with Waldo to probably knock out Jared in this fight, touch him. The fight's going to play out on the feet, and we have seen, unfortunately, Jared get knocked out recently against Chase Sherman. Romanov got him. Spivak did as well. But I think this Waldo guy might get him a little bit earlier than round 3. Maybe like, I wouldn't do the, let's see what the odds are. Here we go. Acosta is the favorite, minus 195. Odds makers do not like this one to go the distance. KO is favored. I mean, the over/under is 1.5. Yeah, I wouldn't touch that over/under at 1.5. Maybe 2.5 I would play. But that would have to be a same game parlay. With Acosta, if I was going to do the under 2.5, probably do like Acosta under 2.5 KO. It'll be a fun fight, I think. Vanderaa not really in a whole lot of boring fights. Just has been losing a lot lately. Next fight we've got is Tim Means taking on Max Griffin. Tim Means is on a 1-fight losing streak. Got submitted by Kevin Holland, which is weird. Very experienced, well-rounded, solid striker. He's taking on Max Griffin, who carries a lot of power, is also a good striker. Yeah, I think in this fight, it's just going to come down to like who's able to hurt the other person and inflict the more damaging strikes. I think Tim Means could have an output advantage throughout the fight, but I like Max Griffin to keep up with him as far as output. Like, he'll be competitive there, and I think he'll just land the more damaging shots. So I like Max Griffin a lot in this fight. If we're looking at the odds, I'm sure Vegas does too. Max Griffin minus 190. Odds makers, I'm guessing, like this one to go the distance. It's close to a pick'em. Yeah, I could see Max Griffin hurting him. I could see it going to a decision. I think the double chance method of victory, the KO decision, at minus 175 isn't enough to pull me off of the money line pick at minus 190. I'd probably consider Max Griffin in my round robins for tomorrow. Even if Tim Means is, not getting hurt and he is able to make it the full 3 rounds, like not getting knocked down, I think Max Griffin's going to knock him down at least once. At least once. He's going to have a big moment in this fight. Tim Means, he's just going to have output. So I'm going to roll with Max Griffin here. The next fight we've got is the main event here. Just was checking the chat. Calvin Kattar taking on Arnold Allen. Arnold Allen undefeated in the UFC, 9-0, decision machine, amazing grappler. Against Hooker, just was like insane. Just came out. If you watch it, it's kind of crazy how he was just throwing haymakers in the pocket at Hooker. Went right through him to get his 9th victory in the UFC. And then Calvin Kattar, just an incredible fighter. It's been really fun to watch him in a lot of main events lately. I think as far as the 5-round experience, you gotta give that to Calvin. 1, 2, 3, 4 fights in a row. He's gone the distance. Max Holloway, of course, he got beat up. He arguably beat Josh Emmett his last fight. But the dude, he's active. The win against Giga was impressive. I like him a lot. I think stylistically, this is a really tough fight for Arnold Allen. This is going to be his first 5-round fight in the UFC. Looking at it, it doesn't even look like he's ever gone 5 rounds. I just think Calvin Kattar's boxing is really good. I respect that resume that he carries a lot. I think this is a big step up in competition for Arnold Allen. I don't know. Is Arnold Allen going to grapple at all? Is he going to be able to have the cardio late in the fight if he does grapple? Is he going to hurt Kattar? His volume's much lower. If we look at the significant strikes, his volume's going to be significantly lower. But Kattar's tough. He's really, really tough. I think I like Calvin a lot in this fight. If we're looking at the odds, let's see what Vegas thinks. Vegas, Allen minus 115, Kattar minus 105, kind of a pick'em. They do like it to go the distance. I think if the fight goes the distance, it's just Kattar all day. It is. So they have it as even odds for the decision method of victory. I think if it goes the distance, the volume of Kattar is going to shine through. As long as he's not getting he's not stumbling in there. We have seen Arnold Allen hurt fighters before. Hooker, last fight, Sadiq Youssef. As long as he's not getting wobbled in there, I think Calvin Kattar's gonna win this, probably via decision at plus 225 there. Yeah, I like that a lot. And then where does that leave Calvin in the rankings? I'm curious. What does the chat think? I forgot to close the poll. All right, there were no votes. That's okay. That's okay. It's no big deal. Let's see. Yeah, so I'm gonna roll with Calvin Kattar in this fight. As far as the fights I really like, I want to highlight just maybe the fighters that I'll be betting on tomorrow. I think I'm gonna do, like, as far as a round robin, I'll post my official picks on my Twitter. I put it in the chat. As far as my round robin, I'll definitely do, I think, Jung Young Park, probably Chase Hooper inside the distance, probably DeLima inside the distance with the KO. I like Phil Hawes a lot, probably just go money line there. Dustin against Khalil, I might do the KO. Josh Fremd against Gore, I might do the KO method of victory there as well. Acosta against Vandera, I'm going to avoid this one just in case Vandera does decide to wrestle. I think he'll have a huge advantage there. I'm going to go with Max Griffin money line and probably Calvin Kattar money line, maybe a little on the decision there too at plus 225. So those are my picks. Thanks for tuning in and watching KO Bets. Typically now we get into Twitter trending topics. Just, have a little fun. Ooh, the combination of just whiskey and talking, it dries you out. Let's check out trending. Oh, World Series is on, right? Astros are up 5-0. Holy shit. That's kind of crazy. King Tuck. This has got to all be Kyle Tucker. What did he do? Let's just look at the box score, right? Four RBIs. I guess we got to go on to like ESPN or something. Just so we can really check out a box score. I have a small wager on the Bulls tonight. We'll see how that turns out. All right, here we go. Two home runs for Tucker. That's badass. Damn, the Astros are so good. Really complete roster. I remember when they traded for Verlander from Detroit, and it was just, the dude's unreal. The dude has been truly unreal. He hasn't been good in the World Series typically, but he's unreal. He's unreal. Bulls are down, it looks like. Man, our defense isn't great. That's, some takeaways from our team. Lonzo is a huge question mark, and that's just like That's horrible. If he's not able to get back and like just play good defense and help us offensively, mostly defensively, I think that's a big loss for us as far as our season long outlook. Our defense hasn't been good. Patrick Williams and Kobe White. Well, Kobe's looks like he's hot tonight with 13 points. But Patrick Williams, I would like to see him be more aggressive. Zach's not in the lineup tonight. Caruso typically doesn't shoot the ball a lot. Like, I'd like to see Pat Williams get some of those attempts. DeMar's been great. Let's see. Any thoughts on the NBA season? The Cavs are good. The Cavs are really good. I think with Darius Garland, I think Mobley and Allen are just so good defensively, and then Okoro's pretty good as well. Like, I think you can survive with having arguably a just small backcourt in Donovan Mitchell and Garland. Let's see. Yeah, the Hawks are off to a hot start. Giannis is just unreal. Tatum is great. Brunson's been a really nice acquisition for the New York Knicks. The Wizards healthy. They're going to be fun. The league is just so talented. Raptors, Bulls, Heat, Philly, Nets, Pacers, what they got going there is pretty cool. Orlando, Detroit, I like their young course too. Charlotte, don't forget about them. I mean, I'm such a fan of the league and the depth of talent that we have. I do think I had said my pick is going to be the Nets, right? But I do think the Bucks are a solid pick to come out of the East, and then out of the West I picked the Warriors. So we'll see what happens at the end of the year. We'll keep track of it. Oh, Paul Pelosi, his home was, he's got skull fracture surgery. Yikes. Hopefully he's okay. But yeah, the home was broken into. Pretty scary stuff. Paul, he's professionally, he's a hedge fund manager, and Nancy's obviously Speaker of the House, and yeah, that's no good. That's unfortunate. Hopefully he gets better. There's nothing really interesting trending here. I mean, Elon took over Twitter today. That's kind of cool. Let's see. News. The U.S. economy came back to life this summer, but things are likely to suck next year. Yeah, I have this, the market's done really well. We're having this melt up, but we're still seeing tech lose a lot of money. Amazon, Meta, poor earning calls this week, and shareholders suffered. I still think there's a lot of downside. I'm still keeping an eye on the market. I do think we're in a little bit of a melt up here, but I think it's natural. It's just, a cyclical thing. I don't think we're going to see January's highs in 2023, and therefore I think we're going to continue to trend downwards. So I'm still, my overall outlook isn't, I don't think the markets are going to be that good. What is tectonic? Oh, it's some sort of crypto coin. It's up 10%. That's how it goes, though. People just like start tweeting about it, and then you can make a lot of money if that's your crypto coin and you're able to dilute the market. You can make a lot of money. Open enrollment season is here. Here's what you need to watch out for. They're talking about benefits. Premiums in the marketplace, health insurance plans are rising on average, although there can be great variation among states. The family glitch is generally fixed, meaning families that didn't qualify for a marketplace plan due to affordable coverage at work may now sign up and get subsidies. Premiums are rising by 4 to 5% on average, which I think is a little bit more than normal. They said, however, there's variation in a lot of states. For example, Virginia premiums are dropping by an average of 18%, and in New Mexico, they're rising by 14%. Most fall between 1 and 7%. That's crazy confusing. So, yeah, just coming out of a, just a period where people were going to the hospital a lot due to COVID. Insurance rates are going up. Services aren't immune to inflation. They're going to go up because of that. We'll see. That's interesting. It's just like there's nothing useful in here. If you're shopping around and you're looking for a resourceful article, like it's up some places, it's down others, most fall between here, and it's rising on an average of 4 to 5%. Like, just kind of a horrible way of. It didn't help simplify it at all. So who knows what you need to watch out for. I would say generally they're probably going up, though. Down 18% in Pennsylvania. Yeah, right. Electric vehicles are, in the hurricane aftermath. That's so weird. So it's something about the salt, right? Oh no, that's a Tesla. Something about the salt water is just reacting poorly with the batteries, and it's unfortunate if that is your vehicle. I'm sorry about that, but Giselle and Tom, no more. Splitting up after 13 years. Hate to see it. Let's see what else is going around. Egypt is highly vulnerable to climate change. That might be interesting. I shouldn't be so like the desert. Like that's where I went in my head, but the Nile's there. I'm sure there are very fertile areas that could be affected, but as far as the desert, if it gets a little bit hotter, I don't know what happens. The era of quiet quitting is already over, says Business Insider. So there are more job seekers right now coming to the market. I don't know why that is, but definitely more job seekers coming into the market. U.S. to send high-tech nuclear weapons to NATO bases amid rising tensions with Russia. Sweet. Interesting. Well, I think I'm gonna wrap up the show here. I'll play that song. It was pretty good. I'll play that song. Appreciate you tuning in. We'll have the night set up and running for Sunday's show. Just some frustrating stuff with the home computer. So I'll see everyone on Sunday. Try and come on maybe 10:30ish. Give NFL picks and predictions, and yeah, definitely check out my Twitter. And I'll talk to you all later. Have a good Friday night. Enjoy your weekend. It's kind of weird because I gotta keep the mic on and I just play the music through the speaker here. It's setup is odd.